What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the Pride Pack. My name is Tia, and today I'm bringing you hopefully a very helpful video. Are you getting married soon, or are you just having an event here in Las Vegas and you have no idea the best vendors or kind of the worst ones to use or not to use? Well, today I'm bringing you my top and some of my least favorite vendors here in Las Vegas to use for your upcoming event. Alright, so in no particular order, let's get started. Wedding dresses. So you're getting married and you need the perfect outfit. Where do you go? I got my wedding dress from Celebrations Bridal. They are amazing. They are located fairly centrally in the Las Vegas area. They have a wide selection. They've got wedding dresses. They've got mother of the bride dresses. They've got like prom dresses, they've got bridesmaid dresses, they even have some flower girl dresses. They're high quality gowns. You're gonna find a good selection of designer brands there, different styles and colors, pretty much anything that you would be looking for, they kind of have. It is kind of a mid-range bridal salon, so you're not getting, it's not cheap prices like David's Bridal, which is more a bargain, but you're also not getting the like $10,000 dresses that are like way over the top pricing. So it's like that perfect sweet spot in the middle. And I will put up a picture of my wedding dress that I got from here, and all in with the alterations, because they do alterations in-house. I spent about probably $1,500, and I did get my veil and tiara from there too. Now, I will mention that if you are looking for a cheaper option, David's Bridal does have a location here in Las Vegas. They do have a very large selection at a much more affordable cost. And actually a lot of my bridesmaids did actually get their dresses from David's Bridal, not Celebrations Bridal, where I got my wedding dress. A photographer and videographer. This is not only important for weddings, but for any event where you might want to capture the day and the moment. I don't have a regret on the photographer and videographer that we chose, but this didn't go as well as I had hoped. So for our photographer and videographer, we used Eivan's photo and video. They are a nationwide company, so they probably have contracted photographers and videographers in your area, but that's what it is. It's a large company that contracts these photographers and videographers and has them sort of under them. So our actual photographer and videographer on our day of, they were fantastic, very comfortable, sociable, knowledgeable. They were very good. Our problem was with the actual company Eivan's themselves. A few of our complaints are, one, their package deals, though they are more affordable than a lot of other options you will find here, but they weren't including a lot of things that other packages might have included. So they didn't give you your raw unedited video footage as part of the package, and that you couldn't make that an option to have the raw unedited version instead of their edited version. You couldn't do that. If you wanted it, you had to pay an extra $800, I believe it was. As part of the package, they included a photo album for free, which we didn't ask for, but they included it for free, but then they made you pay $50 to have the photo album shipped to you, which again, I guess isn't a super big deal, but it's like they're making you pay for shipping for a free album that they like made you get. There wasn't an option to not get that photo album, so they're making you pay shipping for something that was free. And they were also, since they're such a big company, they weren't as like intimate or working very close with us. Even though we paid for our package like 6 or 7 months before our wedding, we weren't assigned a photographer or videographer until about like 3 weeks beforehand. And then they ended up changing our original assigned ones. So at first they gave you a portfolio to look through so you could pick who you wanted, and then I picked one, and then they ended up changing them without telling me and without letting me see their portfolio first. So that was really frustrating for them to like change it on me, and I wasn't even aware that it had been changed until I contacted the original one to say, to like check in and make sure, hey, like we're still good. And they're like, oh, actually this is your new photographer. So that was just something frustrating and something to be aware of. So I would not most highly recommend Eivan's, especially if you can afford something a little bit more pricey. Then I would definitely suggest you check out some other options. Wedding cake, or just an event cake in general, I cannot recommend highly enough Las Vegas custom cakes. They are phenomenal. I love them. I've used them multiple times. I am an event planner, and so I did use them for a wedding that I had planned for a client last year, and everybody loved the cake at their wedding. It was beautiful. I'll insert a picture here, and it tasted great, and the couple were very happy. I've had Las Vegas custom cakes at other events that they've been at and catered, and they were fantastic. And then for our wedding, we did use them again, and everybody loved our cake. I'll insert another picture here of our beautiful wedding cake. So simple to use. You can go on like Pinterest, find examples of cakes that you would like, send it into them, and they will tell you like, this is how much this cake would cost, this is how much this one, and this is how this much would cost. And really the only difference is just depending on the design of the cake and the number of tiers. For each cake layer can be a different flavor, and that's included at like no extra cost. So for example, our cake had 3 layers. We were able to pick 3 different layers for our cake flavors. So that was just amazing. So we and our guests could try and have different flavors on our wedding day. We also went and did a cake testing before the day of, so we could pick those flavors out, which was free, and it was just a very great experience with them. You could have your cake delivered for a fee. I don't remember exactly how much the fee was, especially because our fee was a little bit more because our fee was our venue was a little bit outside of the Las Vegas limits, but you can have it delivered for a fee or you can pick it up for free. And they were even so nice, since our wedding was postponed because of COVID, they even gave us a free anniversary cake. So that just really set it off the charts for us. Super delicious, can't recommend them enough. Check them out for sure. Okay, so how about a DJ? You're having your wedding or event, you probably want some tunes. Who do you pick as a DJ? Luckily here in Las Vegas, there are so many DJs. A DJ is definitely not hard to find. So you can really go around, pick and choose, get recommendations for who to use. Unfortunately, our DJ that we use for our wedding is not someone who I would recommend using. So they are unfortunately going to make one of my worst wedding vendors list. So it was kind of like a story with our wedding, because we had a DJ who we were going to use who was a family member who was going to be doing our wedding for free, but they actually contracted COVID 3 days before the wedding. So we had to rush and find a new one. And this DJ that we had found, last minute is Are PBE. They are like an entertainment and DJ company. Unfortunately, I do not recommend that you use Are PBE as your DJ. You might have a different experience with them than we did if you do use them, but our experience was a little bit lackluster. For example, they did not play the songs during our ceremony. So first, the song that the majority of our bridal party walked out to was not the song that I picked for them to walk out to. So it started off pretty bad right off the bat. They weren't playing the music loud enough, and then when it was my turn as the bride to come out, they did not switch the song. So I stood there and waited for them to switch to the bridal song, which just became very awkward because everybody's just standing around waiting for me to come out. And I had to wait like a good minute for them to actually switch to my song, and then they didn't play it loud enough for you to actually hear it outside. So we basically just all walked down the aisle with kind of like no music because nobody could hear it. And then There were just some other things, like, for example, our our parents' dance song, because we did like the father, daughter, mother, son dance. They kept playing that song that we had chosen while we were eating as background music, which was kind of weird because, you know, it's like taking away. In our head, I'm sure some of our guests didn't actually notice, but in our head, we noticed that they kept playing our song during the dinner instead of, you know, waiting to have the first time we hear that song be when we do our first dance. So it was just like little things like that, or I guess music not playing during your ceremony is kind of a big thing, but yeah, I'm just not gonna recommend them. Maybe find somebody else. So you need an officiant, right? We cannot recommend Glenda Suter enough. She is amazing. You can find her at Married by That Girl is her like website title, Married by That Girl, but her name is Glenda Suter. She was our officiant on our big day, and she is fantastic. Her prices are very good. I know she has like a new pricing right now, but we paid, I believe, $150 was her fee for us when we got married. Glenda will completely cater your wedding to whatever your specifications are. She can do a religious ceremony or a civil ceremony. She can make it funny, she can make it serious. Just whatever you want, she will do. She makes it very simple by giving you some like guidelines. Like she'll give you a sheet of like, so here's a sheet of recommended vows or something that we can say during this part, or this is a sheet of recommended things that you can say when you exchange your rings, and you just go through and pick which ones you like. And then of course you can write your own vows for, you know, actually saying your vows to your partner. But for all those other big moments, she gives you some options to choose from, which is really great. Another thing about Glenda is she will come and perform a like rehearsal dinner for you free of charge, which she did for us. So super, super great. Can't recommend her enough. Glenda Suter at Married by That Girl. Hair and makeup. For hair and makeup, you have got to use Beauty Studio Inc. Again, that's Beauty Studio Inc. Again, fantastic. They are very responsive online or by email. So we emailed them, let them know that, you know, we were looking for makeup and hair artists who could do both or all different types of skin tones, because we are a mixed race family. So we needed someone who could do makeup and especially hair on other races, because my family has black hair. We had people with braids, we had people with wigs, we had people with weave. So we needed someone who could do all of those things, and they definitely pulled through. My girl Mel, she came, she hooked us all up on our hair. Our makeup looked beautiful, just fantastic. They travel, they're a mobile studio, so they came all the way up to Mount Charleston. We did have to pay an extra fee. You wouldn't normally have to pay that fee, but for us, since our wedding was outside of the Vegas city limits, we just paid a $50 fee per hair artist for their travel fee, but normally you wouldn't have to pay that. I will put up their like package prices here, because they do have like fixed package prices. At least these are the prices for when I got married. Who knows, they could fluctuate over time. And they'll also do like flower girl hair for a much discounted price, like $50 or $60 for a flower girl, and also for men, because I did have a bridesman, and they even curled his hair up for him really cute. And maybe I'll insert a picture here, I'm sure he won't mind, and how they did his hair. And again, they did that for like $50 too, so they're awesome. All right, so you need a suit. Who to check out? I'm just gonna go ahead and recommend Men's Warehouse. Men's Warehouse, again, is not a local company, you know, they're nationwide. Yes, they do have multiple store locations here in Las Vegas. So that is who we used for our men who needed suits. So we had all of the groomsmen, the groom, the father of the bride, they all received their suits from Men's Warehouse. We really liked Men's Warehouse, one, because their prices were pretty affordable. I believe it was $199 for all of the suits, plus an additional like $40 or $50 if you got a full like tuxedo with a vest. And because they had they have multiple locations, it was very simple. Like, everyone didn't need to go in at the same time. So we had a few groomsmen who couldn't make it to the appointment when my husband went, and so they could just go to their local Men's Warehouse, wherever they're closest to, go in and give them our like group number and our name, and just say that they're a part of that wedding, and then they could just and then they would already know what suit the rest of the bridal party got, and they could just give them that same suit once they took their measurements. Another thing to point out is that Men's Warehouse did give my husband a free suit, and I think they did that again because of COVID, and our wedding was postponed. So they did give him actually a free suit to like take home and to keep after the wedding. So that was awesome, phenomenal. Okay, so this one is a little bit more specific, but if you are looking for cookies, we love Crumble Cookies. Crumble Cookies is absolutely fantastic and delicious. They do gourmet cookies. They deliver, or you can pick up. You can have a large catering order, or you can just get a smaller order just for a few people. So really, really love Crumble Cookies. You can get cookies that are like this big, like almost the size of your face, or you can get the smaller, they call them mini cookies, but the mini cookies are literally just the size of a normal like cookie. And there's so many different flavors. You should note that they do flavors of the week. And so it's easier to get the cookies that are the flavor of the week because that's what the store is gonna have in stock. But you can order from their just like larger range of flavors, but you do have to do that in advance. And they do have like order minimums if you're going to do a flavor that isn't their flavor of the week. So just keep that in mind. I believe it was something like you had to do either 50 of each flavor of the big cookies or 100 of each flavor that you wanted of the smaller cookies if you're gonna order a cookie that is not part of their flavor of the week. So just keep that in mind, but still super delicious gourmet cookies, chocolate chip, dulce de leche, animal cracker flavored, peanut butter cookie flavored, just so many different options. So definitely check them out. And I believe, again, I know that they are not just local. I'm not sure where they have their different locations, but there's definitely Crumble Cookies available here in Las Vegas. So if you need some gourmet cookies to sweeten up your event, definitely check out Crumble Cookies. Okay, and now for the venue. You need a place to have your event or your wedding, so where do you go? So this one is again a bit of a like toss-up. So I am still going to recommend the venue that we use, which is Mount Charleston Lodge. And specifically the Mount Charleston Lodge and Cabins. There is another resort on Mount Charleston that some people get confused. That resort is called literally like Mount Charleston Resort Retreat or something like that. I didn't have my venue there. We had our wedding at Mount Charleston Lodge and Cabins. I am going to recommend them because of the price for sure. Their pricing was way, way cheaper than the other facilities that are in the Las Vegas area. So for example, a lot of the banquet halls that are here in Las Vegas are going to run you for their packages because they all pretty much operate in a package. Those are gonna run you about $30,000, $40,000 a lot of the time. Just obviously depending on the number of people you have. But if you have like 50 to 75 people and up, you're looking at, yeah, about $30,000 at least, especially if you're gonna do alcohol. Obviously, there are definitely ways to come under that, but we were really, even after finagling and trying to find like, you know, more affordable options, still we were looking at gonna have to spend like $15,000 to have our wedding and not have an open bar, and we were just gonna do a cash bar and we were trying to downsize the number of people. So yeah, it was just way more expensive. Whereas at Mount Charleston, we only ended up coming in at like $3,500, maybe $4,000, all said and done. For the venue, obviously we spent money on other things, but for the venue, the food, and everything like that, only about $3,500 or $4,000 from Mount Charleston. So way cheaper. Obviously, yes, it's not really in the Las Vegas city limits as most people are used to. You have to drive about 20 minutes up the mountain to get to Mount Charleston, but it's totally worth the drive, especially if you're very local and you don't have everyone coming from out of town, or if you do, just rent a party bus and bus all of your guests up and down the mountain. It's still gonna be a lot cheaper. The only thing that was a bit of a negative with Mount Charleston, and again, that it's hard to know for sure if this was normal or if it was because of COVID, but they didn't have as many staff members as they probably should have to handle our event. So the biggest thing where that kind of played a part was during the reception, where you're going boom 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 with like cake cutting, dances, serving the food. When it's going like this, they were kind of like lacking in some of those departments. Like we're ready to cut the cake and they didn't have like the plate ready for us to put the cake on, or even when we were like setting up for the actual venue, putting out our decorations, they told us like, oh, don't worry, we will decorate the facility for you, just send us charts and everything. So I did that. I sent them like diagrams, I had everything labeled, and they just weren't very organized with like following the label. So then I ended up having to like go out there and like try and still delegate stuff. And I know a lot of that was my fault because I was gonna have a wedding coordinator, but then things just got like crazy with the COVID and all of the changing of the date. So I never ended up rehiring a wedding coordinator for our rescheduled date. And yeah, so just either I'm gonna recommend you definitely get a wedding coordinator to like set everything up for you, or friends who don't need to be a part of the bridal party to help set things up, because that's what happened, is that our bridal party ended up having to come out and help the venue set up because they didn't have enough people and weren't following the directions correctly. So our bridal party had to come, and then just became crazy between trying to actually, get dressed and get ready for the actual wedding and then still try to like set up. So just be aware of that. And my last vendor recommendation is going to be for a wedding planner or wedding coordinator. And I am going to self-plug myself here. So if you did not already know, I do have a wedding planning and coordinating a business. My business is called Milestone Coordination. If you are coming to Las Vegas and you really need help for your wedding or event, definitely check us out. Not only do we do weddings, but we do birthday parties, anniversaries, we can even do sporting event parties, just any sort of large-scale events that you have going on. We would love to help you out. We have different packaging just depending on what you need. We can do full wedding or planning or event planning, or we can just do design if you only need help designing what you want your venue to look like, or we can just do day of coordination. So you can check out our website right here, and I will link it down below. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram as well. Just reach out to us. It is free to inquire, so we can walk you through the process and give you a free estimate. So yeah, if you're looking for a wedding or event planner or coordinator, please check us out. We would love to help you with your milestone day. All right, you guys, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I hope that some of these vendors will meet your requirements and be a perfect match for you, and that you will check some of them out, because some of them really are great, fantastic companies, and also maybe know some things to try to avoid when you're trying to pick your wedding or event vendors here in Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more videos about wedding and event planning or DIYs or any of the things that we show here on the channel. I would love to have you be one of our subscribers. And if you would like to receive notifications for whenever I post a video, please do not forget to hit that bell icon.